like if that watch was a 10 out of 10, it would still be a $350K watch.
Modern time, you know, these retro 80s ladies watches are coming back.
Very popular.
You know, Patek and Opal. Opal just has this very special thing about it, you know.
Man, this is cool, but man, this is gonna be hard to guess.
The price of the AP tourbillons have been shooting up. So I've seen those double in a very short amount of time.
By the way, I wouldn't be surprised if this sells for more than either of us have guessed. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes for over $220,000. Kidding, like if you put this in front of enough people, like it could go crazy. We are back at Antiquorum Auctioneers for the May 2025 auction season. We are sitting again with our dear friend Julien Schaerer, the director of Antiquorum Auctioneers, and of course, no stranger, Sacha Davidoff of the Davidoff brothers. And we are playing our favorite game for first-time viewers of the series, I guess you can call it, The Price is Right. We're going to be talking about watches that are coming up for sale this weekend in Antiquorum, guessing the prices and seeing who could guess more correctly.
Yes, but we've had like some varieties of how we play this game.
To clarify the rules, it is closest, no matter if it's going over or not, in US dollars, all in, no tariffs, no export, no shipping, just the hammer plus commission, all in.
At exchange rate in USD.
Sure, and this time we actually picked an odd number of lots to make sure that we do not have a tie like we did once. We did not pick out our own lots. Julien is going to completely surprise us.
We did a complete blind, so they haven't seen any of the watches.
How many lots did you pick out for us?
I think we have 7.
All right, let's get them on the table.
All right, let's start. All right, first one. Listen, it's lot 125, still from the Japanese collection, so still at no reserve. And, you know, just like a watch of the moment, let's say. You know, and it's interesting to kind of, you know, have a look and, you know, get a gauge also from you guys what you think.
So by watch of the moment, Julien is referring to the venerable Patek Philippe Calatrava reference 96. 96 is our 31 millimeter flat bezel Art Deco Bauhaus style wristwatch, Calatrava that Patek made for 40 years, a long time. The early versions are very collectible. This one isn't probably the most collectible, because maybe platinum is the only one more, but stainless steel, which they used very little of. It seems to be by the catalog photo, co-signed and with Piguet numerals. It's like a triple whammy. How's the watch looking?
I think that it's benefited from a restoration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, the configuration and the fact that it's stainless steel are very important. The double signature does add a bit of value on
By
Patek
the way,
Philippe's.
did you guys do research? Who is Hardy and Hayes Co? I've never heard of them.
So what's interesting about this is that it's engraved on the back with a name and it says Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Wow, American.
Maybe
It has to be an American retailer.
Yeah.
American retailed watch
Is it?
by maybe a Pittsburgh retailer called Hardy and Hayes. Again, the Breguet numerals, the stainless steel, the double signature. Regardless of the condition is not like, it's not the best, but you're getting kind of a extremely rare Patek Philippe 96.
Sure. Obviously, we know it's sold at no reserve, but also the estimate, you know, took that into
It
consideration.
doesn't have archives, but the archives were ordered.
The archive is on the way.
What it means when you say archive ordered, it means that they've confirmed that they will issue an archive.
That they will issue an archive and that it's coming.
I mean, for me, it has some condition issues that are prevalent. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one, you know?
All right, I have my choice. You good?
Yeah.
I put all in $22,000 US.
$25,000 US.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, what do we have next on the agenda?
All right, listen, still in the collection now. You know, I wanted to take like 2 and kind of put them together because, you know, it'll be interesting as they both show up together and they're both part of the same collection.
So it's a single lot.
We'll consider it as a single lot, but it's 2 distinct lots. But as they're 2 big crowns, I thought it was kind of interesting to kind of throw them in together.
I'll take one, you take the other, and
Okay,
we'll
so first
one's
is-
Tudor and one's Rolex.
First is lot 134. This is a Tudor Big Crown, reference 7924. Kind of the brother to the Rolex Submariner Big Crown, only arguably much rarer. But at the end of the day, it is still a Tudor, so it doesn't have the R on the dial and doesn't command quite the premium, but an incredibly rare watch, incredibly hard to find. Let's take a look at the condition. It looks to be really well preserved, like really nice. Does it have a little brown
It does.
tone to it?
It
Yep.
does.
Yeah.
Dark brown, that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and these dials were never glossy like you see some of the Rolex Big Crowns. They always had that like matte finish, or at least they aged that way if they were never
grainy
flat
matte.
that lacquer. Strong case, you know.
Very nice case.
Really nice case. So the bracelet's a little bit later, 1977, so not the original bracelet. I'm just factoring that into what I will guess. But original bezel, original red triangle insert, a very difficult part to find, even original crystal it seems. Really nice watch. And I used to have one of these in my personal collection. They're fantastic. We sold that watch off last year to a collector in Europe who is cherishing it. You know, the market on this watch is really hard to gauge now.
That's why I chose it, exactly for that reason, you know?
Man, this is a tough one. Because I'm thinking back to recent auction results where a couple nice examples even passed, but the estimates were very high.
Right.
Okay, and the next lot we have is, what is this one? This is lot 171.
Still from the same Japanese collector.
Okay, so another big crown, this time Rolex. Four-liner,
Four-liner.
so 4 lines of text. Yeah, nice brown dial, a little bit of spidering, but nice lacquer, nice finish on the dial, nice color. Also nice case, great insert. Again, a little bit late on the bracelet, so neither watch having the original bracelet. This is a big crown, 6538, tropical, 4-liner, still one of the holy grails of Mariners, but
Yeah, it's got some spidering.
yeah, not a
crystals.
10 out of 10. I mean, look, it is long 5 red triangle. I think it's fine.
Which one do you prefer? That being said.
If I'm buying for myself, the Tudor.
Tudor, right?
But which do I think is going to sell for more money? Obviously, the Rolex. You know, I have pretty decent knowledge of the big crown market as we have traded a few. Also, there is some aging on, you know, the officially certified chronometer text at the bottom. I love the lume color though. Hands are a little dark, but it's original.
Geiger's like crazy.
I don't doubt it.
It's just interesting to compare both because in the end, you know, the Tudor is so much rarer,
Right.
you know, in terms of production capacity, production numbers altogether, but still, obviously Rolex always commands the premium.
Yeah, rarity doesn't always command desirability either.
Right.
True.
As
So
you
true.
know, and
Right.
that is always
Absolutely.
Rolex is always going to be Rolex.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
the bottom
No
line.
doubt.
James Bond big crown is always going to be James Bond big crown.
I changed my numbers quite a bit.
Okay, so yeah,
I
this
keep
is a
going
tough
back and
one.
forth. This is really, really difficult.
It's a really tough one. Okay, what do you have for the Tudor big crown?
I think I went a little high. I did 75.
I did 55.
I was at 60.
But I could be.
And then I bumped it up.
I probably even would have guessed lower actually.
No, if it goes lower, I'll absolutely buy that one.
My initial thought was like 45, and then I moved it to 60, and then I was like 75. Just because I would want
You know,
that watch
it's
to do
weird
well.
because those watches, they just seem to underperform in auction.
Always.
You know,
Yeah.
always underperform in auction. Whereas the big crowns, and we've seen these crazy records and everything.
But it is a really nice example, and it's like dark tropical, which I've never seen before, to be honest.
Right. You might be right. You know, what did you put for the tropical 4-liner Submariner?
125.
I had 120 and I lowered it to 110. So I lowered it to 110.
I feel like I was like a bit too bullish on both.
Only
Like,
because, listen, with these watches right now, there's just such a big discrepancy in the market between like a mint condition one and like a nice, honest one that has some wear, some
craftsmanship.
like if that watch was a 10 out of 10, it would still be a 350K watch, you know, or more. But there is such a big differential now that at least I'm seeing between okay, nice watches and perfect.
mind you, I didn't even look at the estimates because it's also
Forget the estimates, yeah. So
But what
the estimate
was-
was $56 to $112 for the sub.
Okay.
So we're both at the higher end of the estimate,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
Okay, so we have 3 down, 4 to go. What do we have next?
Yeah, really difficult one.
Great, you're giving us a...
No, I really wanted to make it like difficult because it's like these.
This is like a unique prototype. Like,
Oh my God, come on, Joey. All right, tell us about this watch.
This is like you know the mother project of André Beyner, who for those who don't know was a watch designer and engineer. He worked with Maurice Grimm, and this is actually the prototype to the ultra thin Audemars Piguet tourbillon.
which set the record for smallest tourbillon and lightest tourbillon and first automatic tourbillon and a bunch of things.
Yeah, one of my personal favorite watches that we get in the shop.
4 of these prototypes. This is number 1.
You can see the bumper on the,
Yeah.
at the top. Move it around, you can see the bumper.
And it's a true marvel timepiece to be able to integrate a automatic tourbillon in such a thin case
I'm going to be honest with
And
you.
it's running.
and running.
This is a watch that I'm going to be quite frank, it's all going to depend on the marketing. Like if you put this in front of enough people, like it could go crazy. It could go
First of
crazy,
all, the
you
one
know?
thing they have going for them is that the price of the AP tourbillons have been shooting up.
Yes.
So I've seen those double in a very short amount of time.
Very true.
They were like high teens, low 20s, and then they bumped up to like 40
Man, this is cool.
all of a sudden.
Man, this is cool. But man, this is going to be hard to guess.
Yeah.
No, this is impossible.
I mean, listen.
Even if you had a crystal ball, it really would be difficult.
They made 4. The number 2 sold at another auction house about 3-4 years ago. So
Were you allowed to know that?
No, I think you shouldn't tell us.
no, I shouldn't tell. I can tell you after. You're owning a piece of history.
And you're owning the first.
and the first.
Right. I mean, again, it's a very niche watch, but it is horologically important, extremely cool. Actually, is a good size. You know, like you said, it's working because, you know, maybe having this service is not going to be the easiest. The estimate is $16,600 to $27,600. Man.
Okay. Evil little laugh.
Listen,
You're like so proud of yourself.
I enjoy the difficulty because otherwise, if I was just thinking Royal Oaks and this is what we're doing, right, to make it a little bit more difficult.
I priced it
very difficult.
in my head what a nice example watch only of the AP version of this nowadays will cost. $45,000. 60. Yeah. I think more I think about it, it's probably low.
There's no bad or good guess on this one.
And watch it sell for like 150.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, the number 2 of this prototype that sold a few years ago made like around like 35K all in at the time. That's what it is.
But you know what? The market has grown a lot.
75, 80, maybe somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would listen. I wouldn't be shocked if the sells for over 100 grand. Like it's just one of those things that it really depends on who's.
It's number one. Blah blah blah. I mean, there's a lot of factors involved. Yes.
Yeah.
Very cool watch.
Yeah,
cool choice. Cool choice.
All right, other choice.
Oh, you're not making it easy for us, like you said. So.
Dude.
Come on, man. Come on.
I don't even know which way to hold it.
What number? 541 we have.
41.
This is a Chopard with a gigantic opal dial and diamonds, I guess, white.
18 karat white gold, yeah.
You're really testing us today,
It's a
huh?
bracelet, cuff,
Bangle watch, whatever you want to call it.
with like a UFO style.
I mean, it's just a spectacular looking watch. You know, like a real statement. And kind of, once again, you know, all of this modern time, you know, these retro 80s ladies watches are coming back.
Very popular.
You know, Patek and Opal, you know. Opal just has this very special thing about it, you know.
I just bought an Audemars Piguet with like a Cobra style bracelet, integrated bracelet with a full opal dial for myself, for my personal collection.
So this is lot 541. It's a Chopard.
Yeah.
Let's start with the basics. Sure. 18 karat white gold with diamonds and a very large, oversized opal dial and configuration, which goes like lengthwise on the wrist.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, a real statement piece for a lady wearing that is like, you know, you have to stop twice.
Epitome of cool. Epitome of cool.
So cool.
Estimate is $11,000 to $16,600. Final answer?
Whatever.
I put 22,000.
20,000.
Oh, Jesus. And I was going to put 20, and I'm like, bit increments, you know?
Fair enough. Good guess. So,
Wow.
we'll see what the market pays for that.
I have
Are you still going to like try to stump us? Like, what else? What do we got next? Give us something, you know, remotely easy.
Something easy,
Okay.
okay?
What's this?
This, lot 571. It's a watch that I was lucky enough to discover in Brussels on my last valuation tour. 13ZN from the original family. Guy was a parachutist for the Belgian military, liberated concentration camps in Germany during Second World War, wore the watch until 1960s, until he's passed away, went back into the safe since then. Picture of him carrying his daughter wearing the watch, who was actually now the consignor, which is kind of cool. Just a real nice, honest example with a dial that's, you know, patinated and oxidized from the time. Original radium on it, beautiful case, like superbly preserved, super sharp angles to it.
A very early example, the tachymeter scale is a bit faded. It's a Fab Suisse, so it's a French market watch, presumably. Belgium, France.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, that kind of lines up. The number on the back of the lug matches the serial number on the back of the case back. Watch is thick and looks...
Yeah, I
Very
mean, listen, this is one of the ultimate grail cases for Longines collector. Trétaque, which means 3 notches on the back, waterproof, step bezel. The only thing would be better, like mushroom pushers or black dial, you know, whatever. But this is still a Longines grail. And while these watches have gone down a little bit, you know, in value, they're still very difficult to find. You know, it's not like, even though the prices have come down a little bit on them, it's not made it any easier to find them. But yeah, Sacha, you are correct. Faded, outer tacky, patina on the dial, a little uneven, but still incredibly rare.
Zebra patina.
Today, to find a 13ZN from like original family is like, you know, a few times in your life.
Yeah. The estimate is $8,900 to $15,500 on this one. I'm locked in.
Damn you! I like the Provenance.
What do you put?
$35,000.
I put 25.
Oh wow.
All right.
I think I think the condition limits it from how high it could be. I know it's Trétaque, it's hard to find, it's crazy.
I like the story though.
Yeah.
I think that story matters.
I could
original
wildly,
owner.
wildly off, you know.
I'm probably bullish.
Yeah,
I seem to have been a little bit higher.
you
on
could
them.
be right. I mean, listen, it's hard to know the market on these watches because so few of them change hands so infrequently.
It's
you
also
know?
the condition which does make it very hard to gauge, but it looks like a very honest watch.
Right.
Absolutely, you can tell. All right, and I guess the last one, number 7.
The tiebreaker.
Okay. All right. Lot number is 577. We have what looks to be a skeletonized Royal Oak Jumbo from 1998.
Was lucky enough to be in this office the day that he was receiving or cataloging this particular example.
So this is 25829 SP, SP standing for steel and platinum. So this has a platinum bezel and platinum center links. This, according to the catalog, is 25 pieces made. So this is number 18 of 25. 18 is a lucky number for Asian buyers, right? Or 8 at least, yeah. Okay, so we're good.
Comes from the original owner, which is cool, and comes with an extra Tuscan dial, which is really cool that the guy bought at the time originally when he ordered the watch, which, you know,
And it has everything with it, right?
everything. It's complete first owner watch.
I mean, we have talked so many times about how when the market drops so hard on these, you know, how it's such a great time to buy. Now I see the prices creeping
rebound.
back up. It's rebounded.
The thing is that nobody wants to sell when they're low, and so even if you know that it's the time to buy, it isn't the time to buy because you can't find any. And it's only when prices start to creep back up that you see progressively like watches start to come back to market. But this is just, I mean, the estimate's kind of silly. $67 to $134 estimate. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down before. The Tuscan dial doesn't help me. I don't know. Like that's just
Yeah.
And I chose it specifically because it's a tough one, because we all know, you know, what the Royal Oak market has done in the last like 2 years. But as you said, you know, it's kind of interesting to see that the more regular, very hype model, which are like huge production, took the great hit. And then the rest of the rarer pieces, you know, are still commanding fairly strong prices on the market today.
Right.
Like they didn't take the hit that one could have expected.
I'm more bullish than you. So I put $220,000 all in. You put
$195,000.
right. So I mean, we're in the same ballpark, but I think this with the case condition, the set, and that extra dial, which is, I mean, it's hard to even put a price on that because you can't get that.
I'd like
you know?
to pay $195 and sell it for $225 is really what would be ideal
Yeah.
in an ideal world.
You know, I think it's a fantastic example, and on a market that's slowly back up on the incline, which I think absolutely deserves to be, because AP, I don't think they're ever going to bring back the 39mm perpetual. I don't know why, but every new model continues to be 41, and these 39s are just so perfect. And
They wear better.
25 pieces made, steel, platinum, skeletonized, extra dial, box papers. Like, there's just so much value in this.
It's crazy that even for me, I have a bigger wrist than Adam does, I cannot wear a 41 Royal Oak. I think that Royal Oaks wear big. You know, certain brands wear small, certain wear, you know, it just really depends. But for me, like my max is a 39
Right.
at AP. Like it's just like impossible on AP Royal Oak. So yeah, even with the novelties, they released a new perpetual calendar movement, which everything sets at the crown. You know, really, really cool. But then like I see the watch and I'm like, it doesn't look right.
I think the 39 for this was perfect.
Yes.
I mean, no doubt, just a perfect size, just great.
They're
You made
my
like a
favorite
mini one.
APs of all time. These specifically these perpetuals from this era in 39mm, and variety dials. Tuscan actually probably top 2 favorite. Mother of Pearl probably being 1.
Sorry, the only thing that I have a qualm with on these is on the platinum ones is that they made, to differentiate the steel from the platinum, they made all the platinum parts shiny, including the bezel. And so like fingerprints and then like little scratches and kind of like
The black bezel, yeah, it always does it.
But I'm not going to be, you know, I'm not going to be a pain in the
And by the way, I wouldn't be surprised if this sells for more than either of us have guessed. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes for over $220,000. It's just, it's not an easy watch to find whatsoever.
I'd be happy
you know?
if we can buy it from this.
That would be great. Well, that about wraps it up for Price is Right. We won't know for a couple more days who won.
Yeah.
You guys sitting at home will. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Julian, as always, thank you so much for sitting down and moderating for us. Good luck in the sale.
And just for the record, the last time that we did this at Antiquorum in Geneva, we miscalculated and we called it a tie, but actually Adam had won. So now the score is in Geneva, Antiquorum 1-0, and hopefully I will be able to get back in the game here.
Good luck to you, sir.